right, Nick, it's been a little bit since we've seen you in here. What have you been up to?
Not much. Just been training a lot. I was hoping to fight a little earlier than this, but it just didn't work out. But we're here now, and I'm ready to go.
How frustrating is that to you? I mean, it's been, I don't know, like 10 months, it seems
Yeah.
like.
It's frustrating for sure. I want to be active. I've been active since I started fighting, so it was definitely weird not to fight for this long. But I just used it to my advantage, the best I could, try to get as good as I could. And, I'm ready to go now, so it is what it is.
I know you took your debut on short notice and it didn't go your way. Can you kind of talk to me a little bit about how you recover from that, what you learn from that, and going forward, how you adjust to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Obviously it sucked. Nobody wants to lose. I had never lost before, but just try to learn as much as I could from it. I have a great team at VFS Academy, so I had a lot of good people around me who gave me a lot of good life lessons, taught me a lot about that fight, and I realized a lot of the things I did wrong in that fight, and I have to correct those things if I want to be a high-level guy. If I want to be here and make it to the top, you have to correct those things. So I learned a lot from that fight, and I'm ready to show.
I know you did a grappling match in that time off. How was that for you? Was it nice to be able to have a little bit of competition in in the meantime?
Yeah, I've done a few of them. I've done maybe 3 or 4 of them since. I just try to stay active. I always want to be competing. This is my life. I've been training since I was 10 years old. So I'm used to competing. This is all I want to do. So, yeah, I always just make sure I'm in that competitive mindset. So I'm always finding something to do, whatever it is.
Is there a little bit of pressure on your shoulders knowing you're coming off that loss? You kind of had, I don't want to call it an excuse, but you had some reasons why maybe that loss happened. Like I said, it was short notice, but you won't have that this time. So is there pressure on you that you have to perform and this is really your debut, really showing what you are?
Honestly, there's no more pressure. It's a fight. There's always going to be pressure when you're having a fist fight in front of people, But there's no added pressure to it. Also, I'm a huge underdog, and I know that. So a lot of the pressure's on him. They expect him to make a highlight out of me. They expect him to, they keep comparing him to Sean O'Malley, things like that. So I know what that is, and I just need to go out there and shut all that shit down.
What were your thoughts when you got the name originally?
I didn't really care. I'm down to fight anyone. And I think I showed the UFC that. I took that Argueta fight on 5 days' notice, no questions, right away. And then this fight, I know he's the biggest hyped guy in the Contender Series this year. I took that fight in a second. I have no problem. I'm here to compete. I'm here to be the best. So I'm not scared to fight anybody.
How do you see that fight going between the two of you?
It's going to be a dogfight. He is good. He has a lot of talent, but I'm real good too. And I don't know if he really thinks I am. I don't know if he respects me that way, but I'm going to show him how much talent I have. And it's going to be a dogfight, and I'm ready for 15 minutes of hell.
If you get through him, is there a chance you might want to have a rematch with Dan, or is that something that you've put aside? You're not going to think about that?
I don't have any ill will towards the guy, but he beat me. I want to beat him. I want that fight one day. I know it's not going to come anytime soon. We just fought. I'm not going to get a rematch after one fight. But one day I would love to have that fight and show what I could do on a full camp and, show how good I really am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a couple. I know you fought at 45 and you fought at bantamweight. I believe this fight's at bantamweight. Is there a particular weight class that you prefer? When you show up on fight night?
Definitely going to be a 35er always. I fought 45 just because it was short notice and they offered me something. And then before regionally, I fought 45 once in a while. Just sort of took what I could get. It was hard to get fights. It's hard to find much, so I just sort of took whatever I could get. And at the regional scene at 45, I'm big, but at this level, these guys are pulling heavy weight. So I definitely have to be a 35er. I'll be a 35er my whole career.
I was going to say, you're not a small 35er by any means.
No.
It's funny you say you're a small 45er.
Yeah.
So you're a big 35. When you look at this fight, when you say you didn't really care about the matchup, are you the kind that doesn't really game plan for your opponent, or are you just going there kind of worrying about what aspects of your fight need to show up on the fight night?
I know what he's good at. Obviously, I've watched film. I've done my homework, but I mainly worry about myself. Like, I know that my skills need to be able to beat this guy. I can't be. That's one thing I felt like I did a terrible job at in the Argueta fight is I was super worried about what he was going to do. I wasn't thinking about myself. I was thinking a lot about his game plan. So, I just got to stick to what I'm good at, stick to my plan, and, may the chips fall where they may.
And that being said, I mean, you're coming in off a loss, and you took on the short-term notice, but you're on the main card. So what does that say to you that the UFC believes in your skill set and your talent as well?
I mean, I'm going to just be honest. We're not on the main card because of me. I'm 0-1 in the UFC at 135. Those guys don't get on the main card. We're on the main card because this is supposed to be his show. This is supposed to be his coming out party. So, yeah, I'm realistic about that. I know what it is. And, it's my job to shut it all down. So that's what I'm going to go do Saturday.
I was going to say, does that give you a little extra motivation to go in there and steal that hype from this guy and shut it all down?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it'd be a big win. I think this has a lot of eyes. I think this is one of the bigger fights on this card for sure, I think, because people really want to see him. So I could take all that hype. I could take everything. So that's my plan, and, yeah, I'm ready to go.
And if somebody hasn't seen you fight before, what can they expect out of your type of a fight?
I'm just a dog. I'm just a dog. I'm going to go fight. I'm good everywhere. I'm confident everywhere. I know people might have opinions about me in certain areas, but I know what I can do. I know I'm prepared. I know I train with the best. I mean, I'm training with killers every day. I get pushed every day, So I lose in the gym all the time. So I'm getting better from that, and I'm ready.
Awesome. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
So, my man, thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Something you touched on with Amy as far as just that inactivity and time off. Everybody has their own, little journey when it does. Can you touch on that a little bit? What keeps you guys busy? Because we know fighters are a special breed, and you love that competition. And yes, tournaments and such. But what kept you feeling good, feeling alive, or did you reflect any at all on the career as the game kind of passed on?
I just have good people around me. I have a great family. My family is really big into this sport, so everybody understands it. My younger brother fights. He's a 5-0 amateur. My older brother was a fighter. My dad fought. So everybody around me understands this life. So I think that helps me a lot. It was frustrating not to have fights, but my brother was fighting at this time. He fought 3 times since I fought last. So just being around this world all the time, cornering people, things like that, gives you that feel. It's not the exact same, but it gives you the feeling of what a fight is like.
That's awesome, man. What a treat to have a fighting family.
Yeah.
To word those debates at the table and watching it. It must be amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. And lastly for me, you mentioned studying tape. How big of is that in your game plans as a fighting family? Like, all right, man, we're going to study this dude. We're going to watch this, watch that. Or do you not really put too much emphasis on it, thinking, let me just worry about myself?
I definitely watch, but it's not a huge deal. I don't want to obsess over it. I think when you start obsessing over what people are good at, you no longer are worried about what you're good at. You start playing that game too much. So I watch. I'm aware. I know he's diverse. His striking is very diverse. I know he likes to spin. He likes to do a lot of different things, but I'm not going to obsess over that. I see it. I know what to be aware of, and, I'm ready for it.
Thank you, sir. Welcome
Thank
back.
you.
Can't wait to see you go to work on Saturday.
Thank you.